Welcome to Event VODs. This is the full VOD of today's NLC Winter 2025 matchup.
And Exafang like on champions that are uncomfortable on, so it kind of negates the potential advantage there. And from Bulldog's perspective, maybe they're like, okay, well, if we can get Hamza on a champion he's really not comfortable with, then Exafang, we believe in his champion pool and he can really take over, right? So there's potential logic coming through there from both the teams. And again, there's a third ADC ban here. Varus is still open as a fine first pick. We've seen a lot of different champions. The Ezreal as a response as well. It's going to be that Ambessa taken away as well. So a lot of power picks gone through here. Ruddy now with their first pick. Let's see which direction they go.
Yeah, I'm taking the AD carry. I think the Varus is a very fine choice, right? Hamza will be able to sit on his lonesome and just farm up. I'm gonna be honest. I want to see an Ezreal in response to this, only because you can match it in range, but also the fact that Exafang has looked so mechanically good on the champion, kind of looking a bit Korean on it, to be honest. The way he's been able to play some of those fights in terms of the mechanical skill, at the very least, and the respect this 17-year-old rookie gets is insane, right? Both the Draven and Kalista banned out against him targeted in every single game so far because they know they can't afford to give it over, as instead Bulldog secured themselves a strong jungle in Divide, the first and only time with Fearless. We'll see her in this series. So I think it's a good pick as well. The Varus very mobile, right? That's at the very least an easy entrance onto one of the carries already for Ruddy sec.
Oh, exactly. And this is it. This is where you now are
Yes,
starting to think
come on.
about. Yeah, okay, so Exafang, as you mentioned, very solid on that Ezreal. We said no, Varus is going to be these two main focuses here for this draft with all the bans that have come through. And now Ruddy Sack have the answer, like, or have to think about the answer. Okay, so Ezreal's very slippery, right? It's very slippery.
Yeah.
Are we gonna, like, how do we go for that engage? How do we match that? How do we actually put some pressure on that? Or do we want to get some power picks on the other side of the map, right? Like this Cassante lock in here as well, like it will nullify whatever Mietic decides to play. And you can see from like the Renekton ban, and also if you've done your research into Bulldog, Mietic likes those carry top laners, right? He likes to be the guy in the top side, like Rumble and Bessa. He even locked in an Aatrox once, right? So from that perspective, if you get a Cassante, you just shut that down. It's going to be the Rel for the CC for the Engage 2. And now last pick for Bulldog here before our second round of bans. They have to go either top or support if they don't want to get those pinched out.
I was wondering if you go for the Rumble, because versus Xanta, you're kind of happy, but the idea of, hey, maybe they can lane swap and my lane is completely ruined. So maybe think before you pick, as the Rakan is going to be their pick. Support to the carry and jungle is already completed. Unless if it was for the boss, that Vi could go top. Now, for the bans to take away from Bulldog, what do you take away? Are you focusing on the mid lane priority? Or jungles? Because the jungle...
Well, it's jungle.
I think if
Yeah,
you're Bulldog,
exactly.
right, you continue to try and target the jungle bull here and hit Yankers as much as possible. But I mean, Lita did have a very good game just last week on the Akali, so makes sense to take that away. I think that's maybe with the two positions that are left open now on Ruddy sec. I mean, you obviously want to try and ban both of them, right? Both very, very good players. I mean, you have banned the Skarner. That's really the only must ban in the jungle as well. So you could go for more mid lane oriented bans here if you feel like it. Try and make Lita a bit more uncomfortable, but he has a deep enough champion pool to not really be hurt by it. So, I mean, I wouldn't really mind if you ban mid or jungle. I don't think it makes that big of a difference here.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised, you get rid of these like leader champions. Yone, Akali's gone as well. So it's going to be the Sejuani for Yankos taken down. Now, even though this is obviously not a mid lane ban, the Sejuani gets some extra value when you're playing when you're the Ruddy sack, because leader will most likely pick a melee champion, right? And so we know how Sejuani pairs with melee champs, with the way that you can easily stack that passive and set up a champion, that's more skirmishy, assassiny, that kind of thing that we expect to see out of leader. I would say here, honestly, we've got enough jump forward. We could see something like the Yone go down. You'd be a little bit heavy on the AD if that was going to be the option. But it's something to think about there as well, as the Rumble's now been taken out for Mietic. He's still got a few options. Like I mentioned, I did talk about that Aatrox, right? Like that Aatrox was something that he picked up as a bit of a spicy one in response. It's going to be that Gnar instead. Okay, so a little bit more oomph coming back from that top side, and maybe even potential to push Perks out of lane.
Yeah, I like that. I like it. I think it's interesting again and give some agency for MediaTek to really have some say in this game. Obviously, now I can be decisive for team fights as well if piloted correctly, although that ceiling there is really high, so it certainly is hard. But when you lock in these good ultimates, right, the Vi ultimate, the Gnar ultimate, the Silas is an obvious choice. In particular, the Gnar ultimate scales so well with AP, so the damage will be absolutely immense. Leader all of a sudden will have a lot of agency in this team fights to either find picks or just make game-changing ultimates. Really, really good counter pick there for, in my own opinion, as now. The question is, what will Jankos pick? It will probably just be something like either the Xin Sao or the Jarvan, in my opinion, but let's see what he ends up rocking. Yeah, it is that Xin Sao, and it makes a lot of sense, right? Adding some I don't want to say much needed engage, because it doesn't add that much engage, but more follow-up to the engage they already have.
I'd like to see just like you lock in a Syndra here. I think is like really solid in this comp, just because you know, it's not great for Size to steal the ulti. It's a little bit of disengage and some damage as well. Hovering that is locked in. Yeah, locked in the Casio instead. So
that's
you know,
surprising.
Okay, well, I would say
dashes.
like you stop the Xin Zhao, and don't forget as well that Kingmaker or Kingslayer, probably Kingslayer makes sense for Silas. The W on
Slayer.
Silas, is technically a dash, right?
Yeah,
so within the miasma, you can't press W if you're Silas. But what were you thinking about this, Suckling? Because you had some an opinion on this Casio,
Yeah,
especially.
I think it's more so the fact that Casio did find her place in the meta, but she has just been nerfed. In particular, she turned out to be a Formula 1 race car with feats of strength, gaining 36 extra free movement speed at level 18.
Yeah.
That has now been halved. So what I will say is I didn't expect her to be locked in. She definitely works in the matchups, but she isn't going to be as powerful as we saw maybe Norway when piloting her in the early start of the seeding stage, when she had that extra agency with the feats of strength. But that also puts less pressure on Bulldog to have success at finding the feats of strength, whereas before, they were really the critical success factor for Cassiopeia to be working out.
So this means they're about to jump into the first game of the series between Ruddy and Bulldog. It's time to throw it into the gauntlet, into the Summoner's Rift. And with that in mind, Ipran and Treble, you can take it away. I'll see you soon.
As the complete favorites, right? That is 100%. However, for Bulldog, there were a few questionable decisions in terms of the big ban phase, because they banned the Akali out on 4-5, which kind of gives the hint of maybe an Azir for Cayman, which fits the theme, right? They've got a front to back going on, a lot of engage. You want a lot more extra damage coming through, which Casio gives as well. However, wait for it, because Lulash has been found on that level 1. Pushed out of his jungle. Now, if you're a Vi and you get invaded last minute, this hurts a lot. Yeah. Especially for your clear, and especially depending on where you end up on the map and what the priorities lie there, you might also lose a quadrant of your jungle. So we're just going to keep our eyes on how Lulash does in that early game.
Oh, we've seen the big old lane swaps, but every lane has gone topsy-turvy. We've got bot lane and mid lane, we've got top lane and bot lane, and mid lane and top lane. So everyone's playing a different lane from where they should be. And actually,
Except
something
for
we
Cayman?
did... Except for Cayman. Well,
I mean, sorry, except for Bulldog, right?
All of Bulldog are where they want to be, or where they would hope to be. But what we actually saw about this was Bulldog during the group stage, this was probably one of their biggest weaknesses. They were an incredibly good team fighting team, but early game, they struggled to understand the lane swaps. And one of our major concerns about them was they didn't seem to have like a decent answer to that lane swap. So I want to see some growth in them as we've now moved on to the playoffs on how they handle these lane swaps.
Ooh, and on the lane swaps as well, what I really love that Ruddy have done right here is they've put their mid lane, sorry, their bot lane mid, which means you constantly have a 2-man unit over in the mid lane.
Oh, that's so good.
Remember what we said, we need to keep a track of Lulash to see if he'll get 2 quadrants of his jungle, because one of them is already stolen. Now look at that, Cassandra is closing in from the bot lane, you also have Rel, Lulash is being pushed out, forced to flash even.
He's flashed the wall, but he's found Exifang instead. Catches him with a knock-up from the free talent strike that he's been used. Flash is available to Exifang. Gets over the wall with that one. Now Kasing locked down. Is just going to go for a grand escape. He's blast goes in. Lulus You fool! Kasing will survive, but the jungle is going to be heavily impeded by this.
Again, you mentioned earlier on, Bulldog did not have a good time in terms of lane swaps. It feels like they cannot necessarily figure out exactly how to execute them. And again, right here, genius move from the Ruddy, put that bot lane in mid, which means whichever quadrant Lulash tries to invade to take a second one for himself, you can just have your bot lane defend that themselves. So right now he's heading towards that top side. Look how hesitant he is though. He might just stick to just taking the scuttle grab right here. The Vi walking in level 3 with 70% HP into a black jungle is a very scary thing, especially knowing that the bot lane from Radisak is just sitting in that mid lane ready to engage you at any point. And look at that, Jankos. He's just leaving to be a nuisance for Lulash. He's just going to be pushed out again.
Hustlin is a bouncer for his own jungle. He is making sure nothing goes down. Now we do see actually a little bit of a scrap there. Hamza losing a fair amount of HP, but he is going to be able to hold. Leader doing a fantastic job of handling this versus Mirtek. Mirtek is about to gnaw out, and with Lulish in the area, a gank potential was there. But Lulish, level 3. The other jungle's been cleared out. Lulish has had 1 quadrant. That's all he's had so far in this game, where it's 3 to Jankos. Jankos has such a significant lead over his opponent right now.
And let's see how Jankos is going to choose. Use that lead that he has. Sends out one of the most powerful early game champions on the Rift. Very good at skirmishing, very good at fighting 1v1, 1v2 even, especially after having that level 6 as well. And of course, for Radisak, especially when it comes back to the question on the draft, I'm gonna hold my thought here.
Exofan's
No
flashless, gets caught by the knockup into the back from Perks. Ignite's thrown down. Exofang able to jump away to safety with that E, but getting heavily punished. Radisak definitely controlling the tempo right now.
Absolutely. Now, moving back to my point about leader right here and the Akali ban. I thought this was gonna be a Sylas ban for sure. Like, the dude is a Sylas player, and you're giving him Gnar, Vi, Cassio, and Rakan all for free. Reminder that here, when you have a Gnar, Mirtek is gonna have to pretty much handle his own rage bar before a fight begins to make sure that you're getting in at the right time to Gnar out and use your ultimate. Leader can have that for free. He can yoink that off you, join a fight, engage it, and you will be off the timer. So let's have a look and see later on what Leader prioritizes in terms of ultimates when these teamfights start, because he has so much variety to choose from and so many engage tools in them.
Absolutely. Well, we're seeing Jankos start up these grubs. Is being traded for that Hextech Drake. So Bulldog are at least getting something off the map off this one. Well, Jankos is quite happily just going to be securing himself then. Hustling. Just going to do a little bit of sniffing around. We'll place a ward down to make sure he knows exactly where Lulish is and what he is up to. Lulish is quick enough with it. He may be able to go steal those chickens, but I think with Hustling being the gatekeeper and Perks actually coming in, Perks has the ultimate. They might not be able to secure the dragon, but there could be a fight that ensues here. They find the lockdown immediately onto Kasing. Is able to battle dance away to safety, though. And Radisak not going to be getting any more.
Great stuff right here from Bulldog. In and out. They take the neutral objective, which is what they came for. They lose nothing. A lot of flashless members on the side of Bulldog, but also very slippery. The Ezreal, the Rakan, extremely slippery when it comes to those fights. And all the utility that they have into their kit. And back to that top lane, Leader was able to sway the situation by swapping away from the Cassiopeia, which is a bad matchup, especially early on, and playing into the Gnar. But now Bulldog have sort of reconfigured the map for themselves, and Hatput came in into Leader's Sylas. You see that Kasing is also roaming towards the top side of the map, and I feel like this is what Kasing kind of needs to do right here, especially in a lane swap scenario. He needs to make sure that he guards his solo laners. Oh, but Hustling is sneaking around.
Been spotted by the ward, but Jankos, now level 6, has slid in. There's going to be the knockup from Kasing, but Kasing finds himself locked in place, caught by the knockup. In jumps Leader. First blood to the Sylas.
Great stuff right there, getting the Sylas head as well. He's going to be huge. It's a small issue with the overlay, but it will catch up. There you go. Already done and dusted. great pathing right there. For Jankos was already stealing the red buff. He was not seen doing so. Hustling to a very good pathing, also not seen, heading towards the top side. Kasink thought he was safe, walking in, placing down some vision, covering for Cayman as well. Wasn't quite the case. We did mention he was flashless as well, so a very good punish for your first blood from Ruddy.
Yeah, really nice little pick up there. Did see Perks and Miatek just having a brief exchange with one another. Miatek is a player who I've actually been getting slightly excited about. I think if we cast our mind back to week 1, where Miatek just went so hard down as we went for replaying, ping back. But Miatek, the lane swap really cost him. He died 5 times very, very quickly, but still was able to put an absolutely tremendous performance in on that Rumble. See if he can repeat that once again, as we're seeing Ruddy reconfigure the lanes themselves once again. They're sending now Perks up to top side. They're sending Leader into bot side. And again, the tempo is very much in their favor as Hustlin is just continuously moving around, getting wards down, trying to spot where Lulish is on the map so Jankos can continue to extend his jungle lead over him. And now that Tiamat's finished, those jungle camps are going to go down way quicker. So it's going to be quite scary to try and find that contest if he jumps into your jungle, because he is going to mop up camps.
Yeah, Zinzao is very, very scary early on, especially when you've got extra engage coming in from Hustling onto this rel. And I feel like I've sort of figured out a pattern with Bulldog. I'm going to hold on to the pattern because Miatek does not want any part in this pattern that's called the tower dive.
He's about to gnaw out, though. Gets the slam back down onto 1. He falls. Humza secures the kill. Jankos survives. Leader survives. Ruddy played that absolutely beautifully.
This was a little bit of a hindsight on what happens when you've got Silas and Gnar. Gnar has to regulate the bar to use the ultimate. Silas does not give a single F. He just steals your ult, uses it against you. By the time you Gnar out, you're dead. That's exactly what happened to Miatek right there. Now, we're going to see this one more time. Leader still won the 1v1 versus Miatek right here. They're just going to trade back and forth. Now, the pattern that I was talking about with Bulldog Gaming, as this is going to go on, it's pretty much the build up of the wave towards the tower dive as Radisak are going to engage onto the Gnar, is the fact that Bulldog Esports are choosing a lot of squishy compositions with very heavy damage dealers. So usually 4 of them, and then you've got Kasing on something like the Nautilus, the Rakan, the Leona, the Rel, like a very engage heavy support. Now, what the difference is between the Leonas and the Nautilus and the Rels is that they're tankier and can face check for vision. Kasink on the Rakan cannot necessarily do this on his own. So if Radisak get ahead, they start getting towers, they start depriving Bulldog Esports of a vision, it's going to become really difficult to even step inside their own jungle to try and take some terrain back.
You're seeing that Ruddy doing a fantastic job of keeping Cayman away from Leader right now. Even though the Protobelt is now finished up onto Leader, so he has got a full item in his inventory. You've also got that Titanic Hydra just finished up by Jankos. You've got the Ghost Blade finished up by Humza. Items are starting to come online already for the side of Ruddysack. And it's good timing because that dragon is spawning up. We did see Perks teleport topside though. He's just looking to try and pick up this wave, but we obviously the knockout come in. Leader slides into the pocket of Kasing. He has the quickness. Jankos continues to chase forward. Lands the wind, become lightning. They're not going to go for anything else off the back of that one. Dragon definitely on the table here for the side of Ruddy. As another teleport's coming in. It looks like there may be a return engage here from Lulish. Doesn't decide to pull that trigger. Cayman has slid in. Hustling misses the Magnet Storm. Doesn't land it onto anybody. Petrifying Gaze still up and available to him. Hustling gets caught out. The Chains of Corruption. Look for the spread. Lockdown only lands onto 1. That's going to be Warfare going down in the middle of all of that. Absolutely huge pickup. As Exafang is going low. Not going to be Humza landing the arrow. We do see a shutdown going picked up by Cayman in the middle of all of this as he's going to continue to chase onto Humza. Double kill picked up for him. Leader with a Kingslayer will get another kill. Jankos is incredibly low. Bulldog, fantastic job of turning that fight around.
What an extremely scrappy fight from both sides. You've got Hustling jumping in and missing the ultimate. Then you've got a crazy back and forth, diving towers, overextending from Hamsters to hit the Q on a very low HP target. Absolute craziness. Well, talk about the craziness. Let's watch this one more time. You've got Cayman, first of all. TPing right into the center, the eye of the storm. Hustling I gotta say, a little bit too late with the trigger right there, especially now that you can visually see the TP landing in. It's a little bit easier to do that. Chain of Corruption, fantastic, lands on 3 players. Vi instantly ends up going down, and that Xin Zhao is tanky enough to keep the front line. And this is where the overextend starts happening for the Ruddy side. You see Hams walks a little bit too far forward to try and snipe Exafeng in the back line, and this tower is doing work. Reminder, now it takes 5 seconds for the tower to drop heat, but we have another fight.
Back into the action, Jankos incredibly low. I believe that was the chain thrown out by Humza. No, they're on cooldown. True Shot Barrage hits onto Leader. He's taken down in the middle of all of the fight. Perks hasn't found that window, hasn't got the ultimate, but Miatek gets the lockdown on to Hustlin as he is taken out by Cayman. Miatek incredibly low. Cayman blinking health bar, 2 HP on the snake. But Ruddy Sack cannot convert, and Bulldog take another good team fight for themselves.
And look at the KDAs as well. 2-0-3. 500 gold up onto this Ezreal. It's gonna start becoming a little bit problematic when all the range is gonna start coming through from the Ezreal, all the poke is gonna start coming through from the Ezreal. Leader on that Salas is gonna have to find the angle to get onto that sleeper target, and then you've got Kasing, and then you've got Miasma coming through from Cayman. So they do have a bunch of protective spells to use from the side of Bulldog to try and defend Exafeng, and that's not even taking in consideration the slippery hit that Ezreal has on his own.
Jankos, he's down. Kasing secures the kill with the quickness. And this is what I like about Bulldog. This team has so much fight in them.
Would you say that Bulldog has bite?
I already said it. I've said that line last week.
Right.
I can't do it again.
But
they
I
do.
it for
They
you.
do have bite.
This is going to be feats of strength,
Yeah.
right? Yep, +1.
No. They haven't got a tower or the kills because the kills are secured by Ruddy Sack. So they need a tower if they
one
want to
out of
secure
three.
it. 1 out of 3.
1 out of 3.
Ruddy have secured the kill feat of strength though, so if they can secure this kill onto Miatek, they can then transition that into tower. But Leader, he's gonna have to play protection, has the petrifying gaze, as now Miatek is getting chased onto, throws it out. Can Leader clear the wave? He's been able to do so, and I think that should be enough from Leader to secure the feat of strength for his team. Tower goes down. Ruddy able to find an answer here on the map.
Yeah, you saw how both teams instantly run. One top, one bot, to try and take that tower for the feat of strength. But Leader right there, great reply. Still in a way, the Cassiopeia ultimate is swaying the situation, allowing Ruddy Sack to secure that extra movement speed for the time being for the team. Alongside other first items, completions right there. And Rift Herald already up on the map. Let's see where the priorities lie within the teams. We do see that we have a back onto Exafeng. Very close.
Oh,
He just woke up to ignite him.
There's no way you did that. That might be the greatest dumb thing I've ever seen.
That's how you assert dominance, okay? That's how you assert dominance.
Yes, he did use his summoner spell, but he's off the tempo of Bulldog. And it actually might result in a Rift Herald, so what looked like a bit of a troll play actually may work out here as he finds the opening onto Kasing, but Kasing gets the grand entrance off. Jankos now left on his lonesome to deal with his Herald. The rest of the team collapse in. And that will be Herald secured here for the side of Ruddy Sack. So ultimately it works out. Now Perks and Miatek going toe-to-toe. Miatek's about to get that ultimate. This could get a bit dicey for Perks. Gets caught by the wallop. Is able to escape thanks to his W though. Miatek not going to translate that into a kill. There's a whole bunch of petals here in the mid lane for Exafeng to grab.
Another one down there. As
Oh my
Miatek
word.
is taking that bot lane tower.
At what cost though? Leader steals away the Gnar. I think he's predicting a
none.
fight.
There you go. No cost from Bulldog. And actually, I'm just gonna say, these fights look very messy. The
Yeah.
setups are a little bit non-existent. I would like to see a lot of the veterancy coming out from Ruddy Sack in terms of vision. Oh no, Jankos.
Jankos is absolutely popped as Lulish gets his revenge for that early game, secures the kill for his team. And Bulldog, I think they have a lot of flaws as a team. One thing I cannot fault them on is their ability to find fights and kills and team fight, just anything to do with putting people into grey screen. That is where they shine. Now Leader takes the tower, gets a slam onto Miatek, but Miatek is putting some serious damage into Leader. He's about to gnaw out himself. The wallop, the lockdown, came in, comes in with the twin fangs and secures the kill.
Might have been a little bit of miscommunication right there, because I thought Hustling was around, and that was a very good Gnar ult coming in from Leader. So if the lockdown and all the CC came through from Hustling as well, I do think that this would have been a bit different, at least until Cayman touched ground over on that bot lane. However, Bulldog come out ahead again. I think Hustling was a little bit too deep into the jungle at this point, setting down some vision. And again, this is what I was talking about before. I'd like to see some of the veterancy coming out from Ruddy. We know Kasing also has it from the side of Bulldog. Pressure out the waves, go towards objectives, set down your vision. I just haven't been seeing this enough. There's just a lot of back and forth happening, a lot of skirmishing, a lot of fighting. But a lot of the fundamentals are sort of overlooked for the sake of those fights. This is why we're seeing the map literally being 50-50 right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Now 19 minutes into the game, gold lead. Very close between the two teams, actually. Not really too much of a major difference. Leader stealing away the Gnar. May have to use it. Smeartech loses a massive chunk of health. Leader's going to try and clear the wave out. Teleport's coming in to try and save him, but Smeartech secures the kill. Teleport is too little. It's too late, and now Perks may find himself in a bit of danger. The tower's going to go down. Bulldog finding picks everywhere they go. It's beautiful to watch.
The chain CC was very well executed towards the top side of the map, but don't forget the Reef Turtle that Ruddy took earlier on. This is going to net them a middling tier 1 tower, and don't forget in 30 seconds we also have the Dragon coming up. So Ruddy can use that time to actually start setting up some vision, but Bulldog really want more. They're TPing in.
It's all about the picks, baby. That is Hustling going down. Lulish gets his second kill of the game.
Great timing, support down. Leader is also down onto that Silas. Doesn't have TP to come in. Bulldog are going to head towards the side of the map, which is Atakan. Still 6 seconds for that Rel. Has to spawn, has to walk towards the top of the map.
Oh no. Lockdown on a Perks. Bulldog just have their number. The lane swap that Ruddy pulled out just hasn't really blossomed into anything as Ruddy clearing the wards. Atakan will be shredding through those resistances, but there's the flash petrifying gaze from Cayman. Humza goes down. Jankos trying to re-engage into this one as Atakan is half HP. Leader gets the slam down only onto one. Huge Magnet Storm from Hustling. Massive turnaround, and Ruddy find their opening. It's a triple kill onto Jankos. Bulldog do answer at back, but what a redemption from Humza.
My God, Ruddy bringing it back, stopping the Atakan. Getting key kills on that one. A bunch of shutdowns. Lulish goes down, which is the most important part, which means that Bulldog can no longer go for the Atakan with Jankos alive. And this is what I was talking about when I was talking about setting down some vision. Perks walking in completely blind, ends up being completely punished, running into 5 members. And this is, again, Hums walks up fantastic. Flash ult from Hums right there. You'd need to have more than Faker hands to dodge that one. And then it's a 3 versus 5 with 3 melee champions. And this is where the strength of Xin Zhao comes in. They were all bounced up. Silas with a bunch of his passive procs, as well as Jankos doing the work. Bulldog don't get the Atakan, and now they're going to head towards that Dragon.
I mean, Dragon Soul is a pretty nice one here for Bulldog. That Cloud Soul on the likes of Lulish and Kasing is going to be very impactful, but right now it looks like Ruddy have been able to wrestle their way forwards. True Shopper are stolen away there by Leader. Has got that to work with as he just throws it out, just clipping onto that bot wave. Going to do a little bit of a tidy up. Ruddy going to be able to answer with this Dragon. And once this Dragon's off the map, all the attention then shifts up towards that top lane and towards that Atakan, although Ruddy... This could be a bit of a mistake. Came in, he's just going to teleport away. They see it happening, and that's Atakan. Ruddy committed too many people bot side.
Yeah, Jinx Rocket Cassiopeia coming straight through that bot lane. And Ruddy thought they had a flank onto the Cassio, but the insta TP towards the top side of the map. I wanted to start saying that I wish that Bulldog had used that time where Ruddy were taking the Dragon to try and set up towards the top side of the map, but that was a very good bait. Overstepping, if you will, from Cayman. Fully calculated to take that Atakan. Right now, you don't necessarily have a lot to fight for, but Atakan does last for 2.5 minutes, and Baron would have spawned by then. It will be just on the edge of it timing out, but potentially Bulldog can find a fight around that timer to try also to snowball that into a Baron.
I mean, Foxy got me on the hype train last week for Cayman. Guy is performing right now. 5 and 2 on the Cassiopeia. About to get that Leandris finished up, so it'll be 3 items in as well. Really having a lot of impact in this game. Really amazing Petrine gazes as well we're seeing consistently from him in this game. And Ruddy, who I felt like they had control of the early game, have really kind of slipped that control and are starting to struggle a little bit here versus Bulldog, who are just out-muscling them in the team fights.
Yeah, and I feel like the initial plan from Ruddy when they came in was very solid. However, progressing through the game, again, a lot of the fundamentals are missing. Running into Fog of War, not necessarily using the fact that you've got advantage through waves to push towards that side of the map, to set down your vision, to try and make a play towards there. Flanking a Cassiopeia when TP is up, and then you get Atakan taken away from you. Now, Bulldog, we have a 1v1.
Leader going very low. Miatek has the revive as well, so this is just too risky to be taken, but Leader has been seen out there. I saw top laners in my head. It was both top laners fighting. Nope, it's mid versus top. But on the other side, we're going to see the engage from Lulush. Straight on the Hunter on the back. Massive petrifying engage from Cayman. Big Manic Storm to come in for the response, but Cayman is going to be able to just about get out of this one. Perks shows up to the fight a little bit too slow, but Leader's able to get himself one. They've got the revives. It is so free for the side of Bulldog. It doesn't matter what happens here. Leader low. Leader will go down to Miatek, who continues to chase forward. He gets the Gnar. He gets the boulder toss. He retreats out, and Hunter just about survives. But Bulldog ultimately chunking that tower, doing oh so much work. That tower may even go down. No local gold, but Bulldog's still in control right now.
Bulldog had one objective and one objective only in this particular engage, and that was to kill Jankos. They all threw their bodies in to take Jankos down, to take that Baron for free, but Jankos is alive, the cavalry is alive, there's 4 members of Ruddy running straight through the jungle, and let's see if the Polish jungle will be able to steal that one.
I don't think so. I think he's just going to back off. Baron is secured for Bulldog. And there was not a lot of faith in them coming into this game, but after seeing this performance from Bulldog, they have improved massively. Those tiebreakers really brought out something in Bulldog. And they've just unlocked themselves as an incredible team fighting team.
Let's see, Bulldog. They do not have a lot of weight. It's literally just a cannon hanging on by a thread right there with the Baron buff on top. I would like to see a little bit more variety in terms of how they want to push. If you just stick to one lane, it's going to be pretty easy for Ruddy to just bunch around that lane and just clear out the waves. Right now, they're going to take some control of that bot lane side of the map. Hustling.
Oh, Hustling comes in for the Magnet Storm, but he might find himself in danger. Exofang trying to make a breakaway. Not going to get that lockdown. Leader with that quickness, chasing forwards, but hasn't been able to get onto Exofang. And this guy is showing up right now, taking out Leader 6-0. The 17-year-old ADC, Exofang, having an absolutely superb performance here for Bulldog. 19-17 is the standing right now on the kills. And Bulldog, they're going to use this Baron to siege the base.
And also, what a fantastic display on the Ezreal. Well, there's almost like criticism towards EU Ezreals versus Eastern Ezreals, if you will. But that is a fantastic game from him on that Ezreal as well. 6 on 8, as you mentioned, 2.3k gold up. And Ruddy have a problem in their hands right here. 5,000 gold deficit. They do not have dragon stacks. They are only on 1. I feel like this game could very well go up to the next Baron that's spawning in 4 minutes, and Bulldog are going to be more than happy to do that. Just keep shoving in those waves and then slap Ruddy with the extra items in your inventory. 3 right now for Exofang and a couple more components coming through.
Looking absolutely amazing, Bulldog. They're on soul point. Like you said, Baron's probably going to be the big decider for this game. I think if Bulldog can secure that, they're going to be able to very much take this game. They got a fast Baron with a Cassiopeia, especially a 3-item Cass. He's just farming up, I assume, trying to get that Seeker's Arm Guard put together before the next fight, and that is going to be a big difference maker. And you can see from the inventories of Bulldogs with the Tenacity Pot picked up onto Lulush, but right now, Bulldog are just looking for those big kind of team fight winning and deciding items that can potentially just win the game off the back of this.
Yeah, they're so aggressive as well. They're just walking inside the jungle. They're not even necessarily grouped up. Exofeng?
No, Exofeng is going to get hit. They're going to put the redemption down. He goes for the flash. In jumps Kasing to save his life. Exofeng's got the movement speed to break away. The rest of the team are making their way over. And here comes Bulldog to put Ruddy in their place. Jankos locked down. Petrifying Gaze doesn't quite hit, but it doesn't matter. They've lost 2. Bulldog somehow keep Exofeng alive. Grandad showed up and saved the day. Kasing, that was beautiful.
That was incredible reflexes coming in from Bulldog to defend Exofeng, but from Exofeng himself as well. The way he defended himself, dipped into the jungle. This is going to be the second inhibitor going down, and this could very well be game for Bulldog.
I think this is definitely game for Bulldog. Baron, be damned, as they're just going to look to try and finish this one up. Nice little knockback from Perks, but he is losing so much HP. Meertek goes low, isn't going to go down. Same for Perks. Perks can heal up. All of the inhibitors are down. Bulldog can reset. They've got 2 minutes till Baron. Ruddy, what can you do?
Double super minions in every lane for Ruddy. I had my doubts. I'm like, what is Bulldog doing? They're all playing super aggressive. I said they're all singled out, playing super aggressive, and Leader sees the target. He manages to connect the E onto that Ezreal, and everybody bunches up. But look at Kasing. Da-da-da-da! Super Kasing flies in to save the day. Exofeng staying alive means you can win the team fight, and that's exactly what happened. They won enough time for the rest of Bulldog to dive in and save the day.
Absolutely brilliant by Kasing. Came in at the nick of time. 2-man knock-up. Incredibly clean play from them. 1 minute 20 now until the Baron spawns up, and Bulldog, you know they're going to want to be fighting for that. It's absolutely on their card right now. This team, so good at team fighting. It is their major strength as a roster. And I had my concerns that they were going to be able to, you know, muscle their way through Ruddy. But right now, ouch, by the way. Right now, they're definitely proving that they are very much capable of muscling through Ruddy. Ruddy are going to have to be looking at the drawing board and, you know, figuring out what game 2 is going to have to look like for them, because this Bulldog is definitely stronger than a lot of people predicted them to be.
And listen, there's the gutsy way and there's the textbook way that you can finish this game. That's the gutsy way right now, which is killing them straight up.
Oh, a big petrifying gaze from Cayman. Locks down 2. Perks is trying to come in. Massive slam back does come out, though, onto everybody. Leader goes gold in the middle of the fight, and so far nobody's died. But Exofeng goes godlike as he takes down Perks. Leader, the last man standing. Exofeng secures himself a double kill. Jankos being chased down. They get everything onto him. Triple kill onto the Ezreal. Cayman putting some damage in, and there it is. Bulldog take game number 1 versus Ruddy.
What an upset right here on the first day of the NLC playoffs. Obviously, nothing's over. This is a best of 3, but Bulldog being ahead on their first game of playoffs is absolutely mind-blowing. They went 1-3 in their group. 1-3. They were only able to pick up 1 victory, and I feel like this was very decisive. They keep playing those comps with 4 champions that are super squishy but very high